let's look at November 2003 question 9a. This is also variation. We just have to find a way to solve this problem. So 9, the cost C of weeding a rectangular plot of land is partly constant and partly vary jointly at the length L and the breadth. So it says it's partly constant and then so you have two components of the cost. So we know C is the cost, so we know that C is equal to cost of weeding. Then we have L is equal to length, and then B is equal to the breadth or the width. So C is equal to partly constant. Let K1, so we can say let K1 be, well, let's come back here. So you can say that C is equal to K1 plus K2, because it says it varies jointly. So jointly means L and then B. They are joined together and they are varied, so we are introducing the proportional constant so that we can use the equal sign here. So we can say that C is equal to K1 plus K2 times L times B. And we are given a few scenarios here. We said for a plot of length 50 meters and breadth 20 meters, the cost of weeding is 85,000. So we can say that 85,000 is equal to K1 plus K2 times 50 times 20. Alright, which actually implies that 85,000 is equal to K1 plus this is 1,000 K2. So let's call this one equation 1. And then we also know that for a cost of 100,000, K1 plus K2 times 40 times 30. We are given the length with 40 and then the breadth is about 30. So that's it. So this also implies that 100,000 is equal to K1 plus, this is 1,200 K2. We're going to call this equation 2, right? So you have equation 1 and equation 2. Now this becomes some kind of simultaneous equation. So you notice if you subtract, for instance, 1 from 2, K1 and K1 will cancel, then you're going to have K2. It's always smart to see you don't get negative numbers. So this is 1,000, this is 1,200 or 1,200. So when I subtract, I'll get some numbers. So let's go ahead and say subtracting equation. So equation 2 minus equation 1 is equivalent to 100,000 minus 85,000, and that is equal to 1,200 K2 minus 1,000 K2 plus K1 minus K1. You see this cancels off. So you have 100,000 minus this is given 15,000 is equal to 200 K2. Implies K2 is equal to 15,000 divided by 200, and this is equal to 75. Alright, so then we have K2 is equal to 75. Now since K2 is equal to 75, we can substitute K2 in any of the equation. So when we come back here, at least we know that we can use any of this equation 1, for instance. So if you substitute, so let's come back here and say substitute K2 is equal to 75 in equation 1. We get 85,000. I hope you follow what you're doing. Is equal to K1 plus 1,000 times 75. Remember, this is K2. So which means K1 is equal to 85,000 minus 75,000, and that is equal to 10,000, right? And therefore we can say that C is equal to 10,000 plus 75 L times B. So that is the expression for C as was demanded in question. Find the relationship between C and B. So this is the relationship between C and B. So this is this one here. Now let's move on and do II. So II. So we are given if L is equal to 50 and then B is equal to 40. Find C. So C is equal to 10,000 plus 75 K2 times 50 times 40, and that is equal to 10,000. This actually equal to, when you finish you get 160,000. I want you to play with this. So you get 160,000 CDs as the cost for weeding a rectangular feet of length 50 and then breadth 40. Alright, that's it for today.